Hey guys, alright, so today's video titled I'm panicking because I'm getting older and there's no one left to date. Or should I say there's no one left to date. Let's begin. So this article is obviously written by a woman who was riding the Coca carousel in her younger years, and now she is worried that she's getting older, and even though her standards, unrealistic standards for men, have stayed the same, but she's obviously struggling to find a man to settle down with. So let's have a look. I didn't worry too much about meeting the right guy immediately when I was younger. I thought it would happen in time, and I had plenty of it. Now in my 30s and single again, and I realized that I should have found a good guy then and snapped him up. This is why I'm freaking out. So let's look at all the reasons she's giving us as to why she's still single, miserable and lonely in her 30s. So number one. My dating pool shrank before I even noticed. I was in a serious relationship for a couple of years, and then I was taking my time to recover from the breakup. When I was finally ready to date again, I looked around and realized that I had a serious problem. Everyone I meet is either married, in a committed relationship, or someone I don't want to date. Yikes! So basically what she's saying is that her standards are so high and unrealistic that any guy who's short, fat, doesn't make enough money in her eyes, doesn't look her type, and doesn't follow the same, I don't know, political doesn't share the same political views, then he's basically not good enough for her. So, and that's what happens these days. These feminist women, they have such unrealistic standards that they only want the top 10% of men. The men that make great money, who are 6'3" plus, who are athletic, who fuck good, who have a big penis, who drive a nice sports car, and who are also popular in their social circle. So pretty much, if you're not in the 10%, then you're pretty much screwed with this girl, because she's never going to give you any chances. So the irony is that 10% of those guys are the ones who are sleeping with most of the girls out there. So when it rains, it pours. Let's have a look at the point number 2. All the good guys I know are taken now. I used to know tons of great dudes. Somewhere along the way, they all got snapped up, and the ones who aren't don't seem to be all that great. I know there have got to be awesome single guys out there, but the number is definitely smaller than it was when I was younger. Well, here's the problem. When you were pretty and very bangable in your younger years, which is basically from 18 till about 25, you were too busy riding the Coca carousel, you were too busy meeting up with these random bad boys who were basically pumping and dumping, smashing and grabbing, or grabbing and smashing, just powering through your orifices. And obviously, I'm 100% sure you would have had all these really nice guys who were decent guys with decent jobs, decent character traits, wanting to actually date you and start something serious, maybe even start a family with you at a young age. But because you were brainwashed by the entire feminist system, you decided that you were far too young, and because these guys didn't make your panties wet, you decided to basically snub them off for all the bad guys out there. All the bad boys, I should say. The guys that just wanted to have fun with you, get you a little bit tipsy, get you naked, and then before you know it, it's, sayonara. See you later. And now, what happens is once your younger years gets, passed on and you go into your 30s, pretty much after 27, the game changes. It becomes much harder to meet decent men out there because, they still exist. They still exist, and more than ever. It's what you decided to do, because when you got older after 27, suddenly all these other men have stopped noticing you, and their attention has switched to the new waves of younger girls out there who are 21, 18, 19, 22, and you have become almost invisible to this man. Sure, there might be some guys who are like in their mid to late 30s who might still find you attractive when you're 27, but you might think that they're too old, blah blah blah. So yeah, so this is the reason why it's so much harder now, and for you to meet a really decent guy out there after you wasted your beauty and you've meeting, all these bad boys and just getting pumped and dumped. So that's the way it is. This is advice for all the young women out there. If you use your youth and looks when you're in your early 20s to find the right guy and settle down, and then treat him right. Point number 3. It's not like before. Most people are caught up in serious relationships. Before, people broke up all the time. Nothing seemed all that permanent. Now all around me I see people who want to be settled down already. I'm the opposite. I'm just now finding my individuality and freedom and looking for another free spirit. Go figure. Well, obviously you're not that great of a catch, so a lot of men just had some fun time with you. Fun time. And then they decided that they wanted to move on because obviously you are not that pleasant to be around, or perhaps you come across as too easy and too cheap in that sense. So that's what happens. And if it took you so long to find out who you are well into your 30s, then look, you're definitely not ready for a relationship. So the best thing for you to do is just stay single forever, because clearly you're not ready for a relationship. 4. Everyone I know is getting married. Granted, my friends back home have been married forever. Some of them are even divorced or remarried. It's not the same out here in the big city. People take a little longer to make it official. Now, I'm at the age where even my friends here are getting married and having kids. I feel like the odd man out is because I don't want a family. I feel like the odd man out because I don't want a family. Well, as you should know, all the big cities around the world, especially in the Western countries, are the necropolises of basically the cemeteries of women's eggs. So this is the places where women basically piss around their fertility. They essentially make sure that they never get pregnant because they take too long to settle down. They want to have fun with their friends, they want to get drunk, they want to go out and party, and when they get into their late 30s or mid 40s, that suddenly they want to settle down and have a kid. You know what I mean? So that's really, really a bad way to go about it. Because women have a time clock, especially when it comes to having kids. And if you don't get your ass into gear and you don't have a child, the first child, especially by the time you are 35, then there is a big chance that you will never have kids at all. Because your fertility declines, especially when you get into your pretty much mid to late 30s, then it's game over, Red Rover. It's all over, Red Rover. So, But for men can take it easy. You know, I've one of my good friends, he actually had his first kid at 53. So we as men, we can take our time, we can build up our careers, build up our finances, travel the world, blah blah blah. But unfortunately, or fortunately, women don't have the same luxury. If you're not settled down with a man by the time you're in your late 20s, then there is a big chance that you will be single forever. Because with the whole hookup dating culture, most younger people in their early to late 20s or even in their 30s are just hooking up. Girls are riding the cock carousel, jumping from guy to guy, and guys out there are just basically sleeping around with all these different women. And it's, you know, at the same time you look at the divorce rates, they're through the roof as well. It's like over 60% of marriages end up in divorce, and women initiate over 80% of all divorces. So men are also wising up, and they're like, why am I going to get married if there is a big chance I'm going to get divorced and taken to family courts where he will lose all his money, and if they have children, then also child support will be paid out, and quite possibly he will never see his kids ever again. So if you don't want a family, then yeah, definitely just forget about even hooking up with guys, because I mean, yeah, you can start hooking up with guys, but you will never be more than just a pump and dump. And this is not a hate comment or anything, I'm just saying it how it is. This is what a lot of younger women experience, and older women as well these days. Point number 5. The only viable guys are younger or divorced. Okay, that's not entirely true, but it's the majority. The younger dudes haven't committed to anyone yet, but I don't have a lot in common with most of them. Well, because younger guys, they just wanna pump and dump. They just wanna smash, like our Undead Chronic says. They just wanna smash. Smash that booty. You know what I mean? So that's what happens. Younger guys have one thing on their mind. They just want to bang. Alright? Pretty much any hole's a goal. So if you want that, then go for it. But yeah, most of them will not want to settle down, and it's a hookup culture out there. I don't have an issue dating a divorced guy. At least I know he's able to commit. A divorced guy is going to have a lot of baggage, and most likely he will not want to commit just because he experienced what's it like to be in a divorce. And the other thing is, if he's divorced and he has kids, then guess what? He's shit out of luck when it comes to money. So most of his money will be going towards his ex-wife and children. So you can forget about going on romantic holidays around the world or having him support you financially. So the joke's back on you. On the other hand, the older we all get, the more baggage we all have. Well, exactly, that's what I just said before. 6. Dating a guy who is divorced and or has kids is a whole different ballgame. There are definitely different issues that a divorced guy brings to the plate. An ex-wife, for instance, and perhaps alimony and other legal issues. If he has kids, I hate to say it, but that's a deal breaker for me. I don't want kids, and I don't particularly want to take care of someone else's. This narrows my dating pool even more. Well, I already said it. That's pretty much self-explanatory. You can't argue that. Dating divorced men is like dating single mothers for men. It's a no-go zone. So have fun with that. 7. Men my age or older are still single for a reason. Yes, I'm still single too, and it's also for a reason. I won't settle for just any guy. Well, you know, if you're a girl who's reasonably attractive and she's in her 30s, well, which is quite a rare occurrence because most women after 28 they end up hitting the wall, and yeah, it's an ugly sight. But not all, but a lot, majority. There are still some sexy girls out there past their prime in their 30s, but not the majority. The majority get fat, out of shape, have cellulite, wrinkles, crow's feet, grey hair, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so obviously if you are in your 30s and you're still single, you haven't settled down for any guy, that means that you are completely just no man wants to be around you. You're probably crazy. So if a woman is attractive and she's in her late 30s, then you gotta ask yourself, what is wrong with her? What is wrong with this woman? Why isn't she wifed up or knocked up with, 2 or 3 kids? Usually in most cases, that means that this girl is damaged. She is either mentally damaged, physically damaged, or both. Men don't want to be around her, or especially be married to her, or even be dating her. Maybe these guys are picky too, but unfortunately, all too often, there are different reasons for their perpetual bachelorhood. Sometimes they don't really want to commit a relationship. Maybe they aren't emotionally available, or maybe they're married to their jobs. Well, men can pretty much choose when they want to settle down. So a guy in his 20s, he can have a great time, go out there, just sort of casually date or just live around while building up his career. He can do the same in his 30s. It really depends. Men don't have that internal body clock when it comes to settling down. So that's the way it is. And more and more men are going their own way, so they see what kind of a bad deal a relationship, and especially marriage, offers to men in this day and age in the West, and they're choosing to stay single. Some men are even choosing to be celibate or go monk, just because of what a sham the modern day relationships and marriage has become.
8. Also, most men my age or older wanted to start a family yesterday. I initially thought that I should date older men because if they reached a certain age and don't have families yet, maybe they're like me. Maybe they want freedom instead of kids.
Well, yeah, a lot of guys out there, they feel that having kids is a bad deal for them because they're going to be the ones who are paying for it. But I guess that's true. If a couple has kids, where there's only 2 genders in this world, of male and female, if they both have kids, then guess who's going to be paying for it? The guy, the man, the husband, or the boyfriend. So that's why a lot of men out there don't want to settle down and have kids early, especially in their 20s or even 30s, and they want to wait until their 40s or sometimes even 50s. Now, it depends, if you're a fit, healthy guy and who has more energy than most people out there, then you can do it in your 50s easily. But if you're a fat slob who's out of shape and you want to have kids, it's probably better to do it early. But I would be very careful about suggesting having kids in this day and age, especially with Western women, because you'll be taken to the cleaners, that's for sure. Most relationships and marriages don't last with Western women, especially when you're living in the West.
What I've found more often is that they were so invested in their careers that they didn't notice how the years slipped by. Now they're looking to start a family immediately.
Well, it's up to them when they want to start it, so you shouldn't be worrying about them, you should be worrying about yourself. You should have started a family yesterday as well, when you were in your mid-20s, not when you're in your mid to late 30s, so the joke's back on you.
9. It's so tough to find an available man who shares my interests. I'll be the first to tell you that I'm looking for something very specific, and I know it won't be easy to find a man who fits the bill. I don't even know where to meet them, to be honest. I guess I should just sit it out in the woods until I find my mountain man.
No, you're right, that's gonna happen. You are stuck in the city, sweetheart. You're living in the freaking egg cemetery. Women's fertile egg cemetery. So as day by day they're drying up and dying dying out. It's not a laughing matter actually, I'm serious.
Usually, when I do meet guys who pique my interest, they're with their significant others.
Well, that's because you probably like guys who are taken and you have some kind of a fetish for it, so there you go. And I mean, most women, they are leaning on the left side of the political spectrum. They're usually feminists. They usually think that women are oppressed. They vote for open borders, refugees, all that kind of stuff. And it's very hard for a regular bloke to connect with these women because most, not all, but a lot of men out there, they are conservative. They basically are old-fashioned, and I'm speaking from my personal experience as well as seeing what other men think and share with me. So usually men are more on the right side of the political party, so they just don't share the same values with these women, and that's one of the other reasons why you're still single.
10. I meet so few potential options that I'm starting to generally worry. It could be a problem perpetuated by the area I live in. But what if it's not? I worry that I'll move somewhere new only to encounter the same issues. I simply don't click with a lot of guys. I never have, which is why I get overly excited when I meet someone I like.
Well, you know, maybe you should move somewhere where there are decent single men out there. How about you move into some mining area where there's a lot of skilled labor men out there who are single, who are cashed up, and who want to meet a decent young woman. But hey, you're not a decent young woman. You're not decent because you are single, still in your 30s, so there's obviously something wrong with you. And you're over the hill, you're over 30, 35 probably. Well, you're in your 30s. So you're not young anymore, so you don't really offer a lot to these men out there. They will be looking for much younger women to start a family. The juice just ain't worth the squeeze, sweetheart.
11. Sometimes I'm tempted to just give up and settle.
Oh, wouldn't that be horrible? You find some regular guy with regular looks, with a regular job, who just wants a fucking family. Wouldn't that be horrible?
I've never been one to give up on my standards, but I'll admit the thought crossed my mind. I've definitely settled in the past and it was terrible, but I feel like now all my viable options have passed me by while I wasn't paying attention. I'm afraid that the longer I hold out, then we'll all have to settle later on.
Well, you can always wait until you're 40 or 45 and find a... maybe find a younger guy who wants to a bit of a... Nah, but they're not going to settle down. They're just going to pump and dump, smash and dash. So you could find a guy who's 50, maybe he'll want to settle down with you, but by then he's probably already had 3 kids. He does not want to get married, he doesn't want to have more kids, he just wants to have a bit of hanky-panky on the side. So yeah, why don't you just wait till you're 45 and then you can settle down. I'm sure your eggs by then will be completely desert dry. And then you might spend $50,000 to $100,000 of your career money on IVF, which will most likely 99.9% chance will not even work. And the same goes for egg freezing parties. It just never works out for most women. Unless you're a celebrity like Janet Jackson, who had her first kid when she was 55. I'm sure it was all natural.
12. I might have to accept my fate and die alone. I definitely want to find an amazing partner, but I know not everyone gets that in life.
Yeah, I want a supermodel who fucks like a porn star, cooks like a Gordon Ramsay, and is very low maintenance. That's my amazing partner. Oh, and she can play video games, drink beer, and yeah, and wants me to stay at home doing my own thing while she goes out and makes all the money. Yeah, that's my amazing partner as well.
I'd rather be on my own than with someone I don't love deeply, despite the scared little voice in my brain that tells me to settle sometimes. The older I get, the less certain I feel that I'll meet my person eventually. It might not happen.
Well, look, the way you're going right now, it certainly points to you staying single for the rest of your life. Because if you have such high standards, and I mean, this is probably not even your fault. You were told from day one that you're worth it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe. Well, yeah, how the fuck that goes. So yeah, I mean, you were completely brainwashed to think that you can have it all, sister. You can have your career. You can have your fun. You can have your man of your dreams, that amazing partner. And you can have your children all in one. But they didn't tell you that to start a family, you should probably do it in your early 20s or mid-20s, the latest. And that your career is just going to turn into a stupid freaking job that'll just pay you enough to pay your bills at home and your rent. You probably can't even afford a house because they're so expensive these days. So, and then meeting someone, like seriously, you had all that time in your younger, prettier years when you were 20 to meet someone who was attractive, well off, educated, charismatic, but you pissed it all away because you were busy riding the cock carousel. So this is the harsh reality. I mean, a lot of guys experience the same kind of stuff, but at least these men out there, they have more choice and more time on their hands. And this is why a lot of men out there are actually traveling abroad. They're going overseas. They're going to Eastern Europe. They're going to Southeast Asia to meet their amazing partner, because the West and Western women just, they offer so very little, but they feel so entitled. They feel like they should be worshipped, while at the same time they give you pretty much nothing in return. So there you go, guys. This is the article.
I'm panicking because I'm getting older and there is no one left to date.
By Amy Horton. So, and she's single as fuck. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little episode, and let me know in the comments if you like this type of videos as well, where I just basically read an article and do commentary too. Alright, cheers guys.
Drop the bass, Kitty.
If you want to protect your online privacy and help my channel out at the same time, visit drivenanddesired.com/NordVPN. If you sign up through that link, I will earn a small commission to keep this channel as well as my other projects like drivenanddesired.com going.
How do you feel when someone is looking over your shoulder? Not all snoopers can be seen. Cyber criminals can steal your sensitive information. Hackers can intercept your data on public Wi-Fi. But not with the NordVPN app. It helps protect your privacy by encrypting your online data, and it's so easy to use. NordVPN, your shield from online snoopers. Download and enjoy trusted internet security and privacy.
Take us out, kitty.
I got money in the bag. Shorty, what you think?
You